Hello and welcome to Module 11, Digital Printing and Data Merge. In this module screen lecture here, we are just going to take a brief look at data merge and digital printing and what can be done with it. Recall from the printing processes that digital printing is a process to where there are no printing plates, and the image is held by an electric charge on the cylinder, and then the ink or toner is held with the opposite charge. The opposites attract and so on, and then it's transferred to the paper, and then that cylinder can be wiped clean in an instant with the electrical charge and be ready for the next image to be put onto it. So having that ability to swipe out a plate, not a plate, but an image, to change the image quickly on the run allows digital printing to print each sheet differently without having to stop the press. So it's great. Digital printing is great for small runs, single copies even. Some of the quality is not as good as offset or other printing processes, but it is improving every year. The digital presses are getting better and better. And so always remember to choose the best printing process for your product. So digital printing really allows us to go with a print-on-demand type of service, where basically, traditionally when you're getting a book printed or something like that, a magazine or book, the printer would print hundreds of thousands of copies or 100,000 copies, store them in a warehouse, and then distribute them to bookstores for sales. And so there's this whole bookstore warehouse flow, and things have to be transported and stored and so on. But print on demand allows the book to not even be printed until somebody actually wants a copy. So they don't print more than they need to. They just print what is needed at the time. It can be from 1 to however many books. And a perfect example is like a photo book from Shutterfly or iPhoto, to where you create this book and you just need one of them or two of them, and they can print them out just like that. That's print on demand. There are some videos here of an espresso book machine, and they're also back in Canvas on the reading and viewing page you just came from. There are links to these videos that show the espresso book machine, and there is one of these at Village Books in Fairhaven in Bellingham. They have bought one, so we have one in Whatcom County here. But essentially, this is a digital printer that's hooked up to the internet, and you can bring in your own PDF file of a book and have it print one copy of it. Or you can have it'll do a perfect binding to it. It'll roughen up the edges and glue on a cover stock book, so it's a quality paperback book. It's also connected to the internet, so you can order a book from online and have it printed out here. You can get hard to find books from Europe or around the world and have them sent there and print one copy just for you instantly, just like that. So it's a very fascinating machine, and where printing will be going in the future with print on demand. It saves a lot. Print on demand saves a lot of waste. It saves the waste of having to ship cases and pallets full of books across the country. If you can just send them electronically to these espresso book machines or these types of machines, and they print them out as they're needed, you can see how it saves a lot of waste. Another advantage to digital printing is being able to print each page differently is to be able to do variable data printing. And variable data is done as a data merge, and is how you get the customized printed materials to you. So I have some examples I'll bring into class of customized, personalized printed materials that were done through data merge in variable data processing. But if you've ever gotten anything in the mail that has your name printed on it in a unique font or something, or has an image associated with you, and it looks seamless, like the designer designed it that way, then they were using variable data printing. So it's a great way, a great marketing tool for advertising. And you may have done, if you've worked in an office in the past 20 or 30 years, you may have done a data merge, which is like a form letter. So they write a letter, and instead of Dear Kurt, they would put Dear and then insert name here, and so on through the form letter. And then they just connect the form letter to a database, a spreadsheet. So this column is name, this column is address, this column is phone number. You can see in this diagram here, you got name, address, city, and then they can put the fields in, company name, address, city, so on. And that once they merge that, you got the layout and you have the database, the spreadsheet. You need those two pieces. When you have those two pieces and you merge them, you can create all these individual, in this case it's envelopes. They're creating different envelopes from a spreadsheet. So it's a very powerful tool, and it's becoming used more and more in marketing and digital printing. We will do a tutorial on data merge because InDesign has data merge capabilities, and so I'll show you how to do that. It's really helpful. Basically, there's two ways to do the data merge. This way is more of if you're going, the number one way is if you're going to a printer, and you would basically just supply the data, a spreadsheet, and your art layout. You'd provide the layout, and you'd show where the variable data is. You'd show where the name is supposed to be in the address and the phone number or whatever. And then the printer will run that through the RIP, and they'll print out each piece separately. Very efficient and a good way to go. And a lot of times the printer will even mail them for you. A second way to do it is if you were doing more of it on your own and we're going to do more of your own printing and wanted a little bit more control of it. So the second way is to where you can do the layout, you got your data and your art layout, and you merge them together in software like InDesign. So you can do that in InDesign, and then you can take that merged document and you can create a PDF of each one of those merged documents. So from there, you can have those PDFs printed individually. Only just downside to that is if you're doing a lot of them, then each one of those that got merged has to go through a RIP again. So you might be ripping the same information over and over and over again, where the first instance here, they can rip the artwork together, and since it's being done simultaneously, it only gets ripped once and it can spit out the pieces a little faster. But if you're doing it on your own, you can data merge your own documents and layouts and come up with your own designs, and then you can print them individually. So like I said, we will have a demonstration of it and a tutorial in the class. And I was speaking with a friend of mine that works in a pre-press department. He's been working in pre-press for 30 years. He used to be my boss. And I asked him, what is one of the, if anybody wanted to get into pre-press or into printing, what skills should they be developing? And data merge was one of the top things that he mentioned, because that's how a lot of it is being done. A lot of mass-produced printing is being done through data merge. They'll have libraries of images, databases, and then the layouts are really just placeholders to where they pick these images and data from, and it gets populated individually each time. So pretty fascinating and pretty amazing stuff. All right. Thank you.